you know, people like him are problematic to the progress of this country. Um, I mean, he's just basically an extension of like an MSNBC, basically. Um, a caller calls into David Pakman and suggests that Obama led us to Trump. Obama's failures led us to Trump. Now, I will admit my initial prediction for how he would respond was incorrect. Um, I assumed that he was going to point out, if you don't feel that Obama was progressive enough, how does that make voting for Trump make sense? How does that make voting for the Republican Party, who is the opposite of progressive, how does that make sense? That's kind of, I don't know if moving the goalposts is the way to describe that, but yeah, that ain't it. That ain't it. Just to bring that up. But that's not how David Pakman responded. He, of course, was very dismissive of the idea that Obama led us to Trump. He suggested that if Obama led us to Trump, it was because of racism. He suggested that having a so-called black man as president sort of riled up a lot of racists, and those people, Trump was able to appeal to those people. I would assume he's thinking about like dog whistles and stuff like that. Um, so a brown-skinned president creates this level of animosity among a certain part of the population, which opens a door for someone like Trump to tap into that, um, let's call it base, and that's how he wins. Cool story, bro. Interesting theory, I guess. Um, but here's my comment on this. Happy people, satisfied citizens, content citizens, citizens that feel that their government is delivering for them, are not the type that is easy to appeal to motivate them for a change. So if I were president of the United States and I was really delivering the goods, and a lot of Americans were, benefiting from so much I was doing, and they felt content, they felt satisfied with what I was doing, the idea that a buffoon like Trump could come and get people all excited is, I don't find that to be very likely, right? If you're happy and you're making good money and whatever, you're living a good life as a result of policies of a good president. Trump comes in, what's Trump gonna even say, right? You've got health care, your wages are good, um, you know, you feel like there's a lot of hope for the future. Um, the climate situation is being addressed. Like, if everything that you're concerned about is being addressed, I don't even know what the angle is. What does Trump come in with and get people all, you know what I mean? Like, what's he gonna get people excited with? Because I think partisans on the left would just probably not take this seriously and think all this CRT stuff and whatever would be the thing, but I don't know, man. I think a lot of people that are responsive to Trump's message are people who are frustrated and disappointed with how things are going in this country, and that makes them vulnerable, right? They already have this sort of feeling of resentment for, you know, living in this country and paying all these taxes, and all these politicians are making all this money, and they're struggling, right? That is the sort of ingredients that leads to someone who's susceptible to, the kind of manipulation from somebody like a Trump. Um, I just don't see what the play would be. Again, if Biden really delivered, if he really, not just talk of the progressive stuff, if he actually delivered, and a lot of people were seeing all these benefits from his policies, I just don't, the amount of people that would still in that environment be very, very sort of upset and frustrated would be, not enough for you to win. There wouldn't be enough people that are just upset, right? Because again, if people are happy and satisfied with their government, I mean, even if you come with some stuff and they're like, yeah, you got a point, CRT stuff sounds kind of fishy or whatever it is. Like, even if, Trump is able to get your attention, but if you're happy, you're satisfied, you're content, I just don't see you getting, I don't see enough people getting riled up enough to actually be like, okay, so we got this good president who's delivering the goods. Let's remove that person and put this guy in. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I just don't see how Trump wins after having a good Democratic president that really delivered. I maybe I'm missing something, but the only path I can see to success for Trump after a Democratic president is if that president is not really delivering. People who are happy with Biden right now and saying he's delivering more than expected, and just in general, they think he's doing a good job. You're probably living in a part of the country where things are okay for you, right? But what about people in other parts of the country, in the Midwest, perhaps? A lot of these deep, deep red states, are they really, like, forget about them being manipulated with propaganda to think that the country's being destroyed by socialism or whatever. Forget about that. What's their quality of life? And that's a tricky one, right? Because they're in a deep red state, so they're going to be affected by Republican policy, right? So if they're not happy, then that's a failure of the Republicans, not of the Democrats. I don't know, man. Those are my thoughts. I just think that it's harmful, when you have people like Brian Tyler Cohen, people like David Pakman, who I feel like him, just like a lot of YouTubers. I look at a Tim Pool, a Ben Shapiro, Stephen Crowder, the Young Turks, Anna Kasparian, all these people. They are isolated from a lot of the stuff. Like, you think Anna Kasparian is worried about healthcare? You think Tim Pool is worried about healthcare? Right? You think these people are worried about, like, stagnant wages? Like, they are in a career where the worst things get in this country is the more opportunity for money to be made, right? More chaos means more content means more money, conflict of interest. Things being better for us are boring. Think about that. If a good president comes into place and starts really delivering the goods, so we have a lot less of this division and people that are frustrated and going out there and all this, insanity. A lot of that just goes away if we have a good president who's delivering. And that means less content. Partisan media profits from chaos, right? It is better for Shapiro, Crowder, Tim Pool if this country is in chaos, right? Especially if they find a way that they can just pin it on the left or the Democrats. That is very profitable, right? So it is a conflict of interest. The success of this country is a conflict of interest for them, right? This country moving forward and being better, um, Americans being more satisfied and content is bad for business for right wing media. It's bad for business for left wing media. Partisan media thrives on dysfunction. Partisan media thrives on, you know, things in this country going south, right? Because again, they are isolated from a lot of the effects of these things, right? They're making their own money. They're not relying on stagnant wages. Um, they make a lot of money, so they can afford their health care. Um, they don't have to worry about crime. They can live wherever they want to live. Uh, so again, these are people that are commenting on things that really don't matter to them. So therefore, the only thing they really would care about is more content that is good sort of material for playing with the emotions of their audience, right? Things that they can get their audience upset about and therefore engaged and therefore leading to more views, more money. And that's what it's all ultimately all about. And those are my thoughts. I think Obama definitely led to Trump. I struggle to see it any other way. Regardless of what you may like about Obama, whatever successes you think he had, again, if he was really delivering the goods, and not just for a certain part of the population, for an overwhelming majority. You live in the Midwest, you live in the, the coasts, north, south. If people all over this country were being, significantly benefited by Obama's presidency, I don't see what Trump has to work with to win in the first place. So I'm sticking with that. I think Obama led to Trump. You can try to convince me otherwise in the comment section. All right, guys. Now I can crank up that heat because it is cold in here. It is officially 13 degrees. Last time I checked. Let me see what it is right now. Yep, it's exactly 13 degrees. So I am cranking up this heat in here. I got a liner. So my sleeping bag is a 0-degree bag. And I got this liner. This is supposed to give me another 25 degrees. That's significant. Wow, that is pretty significant. So the way it's described to me is my bag is a 0-degree bag. So if it's 12 degrees outside, I can survive at 0 degrees. So if it's 0 degrees outside, my 0-degree bag will keep me alive, but it's going to be a miserable night. So being that the temperature is 12 degrees higher than my bag is rated for, that means it wouldn't necessarily be miserable, but probably going to be a very chilly night. Probably not going to be comfortable. So now I have this adding 25 degrees, this liner there. So that means my bag would be the equivalent of, I guess, a negative 25 degree bag. It's a negative 25-degree bag, so in theory, I should be comfortable. We will see. Hoodie on. I'm gonna throw some hand warmers in the bag, in the sleeping bag before I get in there to warm it up. So I put it in there, leave it in there to warm up for a little bit, and then we go see. We go see what's up. All right, 13-degree night. All right, guys.